Welcome back to The Review, the show where we go over everything entertainment news. I'm your host, ellafrmla.
And I'm Sarah Hall.
And we are coming from the campus of Clark Atlanta University, where we are going over music's biggest night, the Grammys. The Grammys were last night, February 2nd, kicking off Black History Month, Black Music History Month. And there was a lot to talk about. Just for a little bit of behind-the-scenes context, because I love to give you guys that. You know I'm a production girly. Our production team, me, Sarah and I, our producer Jackie, and our director Gio, we usually write a pre-script of things we think will happen in an award show, and then we flesh out the script based off of that. Everything we put in our pre-script was completely wiped out by what happened last night in the show. So Sarah, your thoughts?
Lots of unexpected, and not necessarily in a bad way, but lots of unexpected things just happened last night. It was insane. It was curveball after curveball. It was great choice after great choice.
Absolutely.
And between the performances and all of the winners of the categories, we just had a great show last night. And we're really going to start to get into that. And this is the review.
Okay, so boom. So we did a little bit of predictions, and now that you've seen them, Sarah got one right, and we were both so far off the mark. Let's talk about the one you got right, though, first.
Well, to me, it was honestly quite an obvious choice of Chapel. Chapel for Best New Artist. It just felt almost... I knew she wasn't going to win for The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess, and I thought
she would.
I wasn't expecting that. It was a good album.
Yes.
But even if we just go to her peer, I just didn't see it winning against Short and Sweet, and I didn't think Short and Sweet was going to win either. I really thought it was going to be Billy's night. I really did. I thought it was going to be Billy's night because she's just such a Grammy darling. But... yeah, I don't know. Chapel, to me, it was kind of obvious. It was like, if Chapel doesn't win for Best New Artist, it was going to go to Doechii. But then Doechii won Best Rap Album, and I was like, well, it's not going to Doechii.
Which rap album shocked me a little bit.
I wasn't expecting that.
At all.
But I knew if that did happen,
then she wasn't winning Best New Artist.
Exactly.
I may be a little bit delusional in my thoughts. I thought Ray was going to win Best New Artist. I thought she had an amazing breakout year. Oscar-winning Tears. Oh my God, the song is slipping me. The one that was on TikTok that had everybody singing. No, not that's Oscar-winning Tears. Where she's in the back of the car, where she's talking about breaking up with her ex.
Oh, Escapism?
Escapism.
That's a great song. That's a great song.
Escapism was so beautifully written, like from a storytelling. It was this year. It was this award season. It was. I really want to say it was maybe almost a year old, so maybe February, March of 2024.
That's a great song. See, now I see why. I see where you were coming from.
I thought just the way she rose so quickly. I mean, she performed at the Royal Albert Music Hall this year, and she did amazing. I thought that, for an academy that loves to really hype up the sophisticated types or the artistic types, I thought Ray would take it home. Ray was sort of like my Adele kind of breakout artist. I thought she was going to have that moment.
Speaking of who she's like, as soon as I heard her open up her mouth during her set,
absolutely,
I was like, Amy Winehouse.
Absolutely.
Down. That was Amy Winehouse. Down.
And she's so like effortless with me. My favorite part about Ray,
out of her mouth.
My favorite part about her,
Valerie.
Funnily enough, like I am in no way a singer, but when I do sing, I also I tap out moments, or I tap out beats. Like if I'm going through it, I'll literally trace it with my fingers. I think that that's so fun to watch on stage. Also, she got 2 song credits on Cowboy Carter. She has a producer credit on Cowboy Carter. I thought she had an amazing breakout year for a first artist or a new artist.
No, she did have a great breakout year.
I really wish.
But I think it's important
Chapel
to
really
say,
did have a huge year too.
Right, like she had a great year, but you went
year
against some of the craziest girl. Like this was a woman's heavy
year.
Category.
Absolutely.
Like you can't. If Chapel and Sabrina and Doechii all didn't have this huge bubble burst.
Which, even for that, the men I think that were nominated in this category also had an amazing year. Shaboozey, I mean, as I know you feel like the song is a little bit played out, but Bar Song did outchart Old Town Road, which no one has charted out Old Town Road since Billy Ray hopped on the remix. He also picked up 3 producer credits and 3 features on Cowboy Carter as well. Also,
yes, he did. Yes,
he did not go home empty-handed. He did in fact, earn a Grammy for Cowboy Carter with the Album of the Year win. I mean, I thought he had an amazing year. Teddy Swims, I think, also had an amazing year.
I had never seen...
I didn't know what he looked like.
I didn't know what he looked like, and he hopped on that stage, and I was like...
I was a little confused. I was a little shocked.
I was almost getting Sam Smith in a way.
A little bit, kind of, yeah.
But alternate universe, I don't know, I can't describe it.
Yeah.
But I agree, Shaboozey did not go home empty-handed, and I liked the way he went home. He didn't need to me, he didn't need to take any of the big 4.
I don't think so. I would have loved for him to get one. I would have thought it would be a shining jewel in his moment because much like Beyonce, he got heavily shaded and very disrespected racially, personally at the Country Music Awards. I feel like him taking home a big 3 would have been an amazing end to the year, but I'm not upset. I loved the year that he had. I think he has really great potential for this upcoming year. I'm excited to see what he does next.
I'm excited to see where he goes. Honestly, everybody in this category, I'm really interested to see where we go. And I think
they have longevity as well, which is not something that we see from a holistic group of new artists usually.
Yes, and to me, the category was really interesting this year because we had quite a few people.
Different genres, yeah.
Not just genres, but people who were actually like brand new to the scene.
Absolutely.
And people who had been working for years and got their big breakout moment.
I remember.
And they were all,
I remember paying for Evolution myself. I remember going to the grocery store, buying an Apple Music card with my own money, and buying Evolution and playing Thumbs all the way out. I'm honestly so excited for the Sabrina Carpenter run. I'm excited.
I was really emails I can't send.
I'm sorry.
I was emails.
I'm sorry.
That's my. And forward, like that's how you name a deluxe version of an album. Forward?
Yes, absolutely.
And I don't care. Excited. That's my song. Nonsense was kind of played out, but I Can't Read Your Mind. Can't Read Your Mind. That's my song. So many good things off of that. And you follow that up with Short and Sweet, and you really officially get your image. Yeah. That's what I think was really important to the girlies this year. Getting their image together.
And they all have a strong image.
Chapel did
it. It's super for me, strong. It's giving Ariana-esque. Like that ponytail is cemented. Nobody else can wear a ponytail without getting a comment of them
the blush
saying,
placement?
Yes.
That's cemented.
Without them saying, no one can wear a ponytail and be like,
makeup?
Oh,
cemented.
Are you trying to be like Ariana Grande? Like that's cemented. They did that. Cemented. Like that Jimmy Fallon's performance, that Tiny Desk performance, cemented. Like she's in there. She's strong. Like there's been a minute for me at least where we've had a strong pop princess lead like the actual way, vocals, visuals, performance.
It's been a minute. It's been a drought.
And I think we're making a comeback with women's rap in that same vein, and I think they needed somebody who wasn't trying to balance truly like the edge of femininity in it. I think women's rap needed someone who can do a true nitty-gritty. I think that's Doechii.
Here's what I'll say too about that really quick. As Tyra Banks would say, are you the noun or are you the verb? Because a lot of these rap girlies, they're not the verb.
Yeah.
They're not the verb.
You're absolutely right.
And I love that we're seeing a comeback of the verb.
Yeah.
I really do.
Absolutely. And when we come back, we will get more into our favorite performances of the night. Stick around. This is a review on CAU TV.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire, and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to the review. This year, the Grammy had an amazing catalog of artists perform. Ella, what was your favorite performance of the night?
I think my favorite performance of the night, and maybe it's just me being from LA, but I think opening the award show with the group Dawes. They're a brother duo that is based out of LA. They grew up in LA, and due to the fires, the recent wildfires, they lost their home, their childhood home, their studio, their instruments, their records, basically everything they own. So I think opening the show with them singing I Love LA was so meaningful. And I Love LA is a really happy song. It's an upbeat song. And I was sitting in my apartment kind of crying because it's difficult.
Yeah. Can I admit something?
Yes.
I don't think I'd ever heard the song before.
It's not something that you hear often.
Okay. I was like, because I'd heard New York. I've heard that before. I had never heard I Love LA, but I know that the whole reason they made that song is because they wanted a New York song.
I think I Love LA is an 80s pop.
I'm gonna have to stream it.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I know that the guy is a little lot a bit older than Jay-Z. A little lot a bit older than Jay-Z. But
He's older than my oldest brother.
I can't remember the first time I heard I Love LA. I know I was a lot older. I was not young.
It's not like a...
No, absolutely.
They don't play it. Even the Frank Sinatra New York song. They got a lot of New York songs, actually.
I've 100% heard the Frank Sinatra New York song.
Me too,
Like,
but
yeah.
They don't
I've
play
never heard
that like when you fly into the city.
No. But I just thought that was really meaningful. On that sidebar note, also, I kind of loved the way that Trevor Noah approached getting donations for the award shows. Calling out a network while you're broadcasting a show on the network.
It's crazy.
As a black man.
It's crazy.
Insane.
And it's really funny because you could tell nobody was opening their purse. And he was
so serious.
He was so serious. He was saying the people's names of who's donated.
Right. Like, I'm calling you out.
Artist's name until he forced Ty Dolla $ign.
Yeah.
It was like, I forced him. And he did it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to shout that out. Like, that's crazy. You have billionaires, millionaires, hundreds of thousandaires. They got a little bit of something.
They got a little bit of something.
And then you're begging the people at home watching this on Paramount Plus or CBS for money. And I'm like, that was crazy to me.
Yeah, I have
Music
such
executives.
I have such respect for that, though. To sit in a room and be like, sure, my plan is to ask people at home for donations, but while you're in this room with the firefighters that have just got like their first nights of rest days ago, the Eden fire that demolished the Altadena community, the Palisades community, became 100% contained last Thursday.
Yeah.
So we're talking like January 30th, January 31st. That's almost a month of fire straight.
Yeah, it was every time I looked at a headline, they were still
almost
burning.
A straight month of fires. So I just have immense respect to walk in that room and be like, oh, you love LA? Show how much you love LA. Mm-hmm. You want to make music in LA? Show how bad you want to make music in LA.
Yeah.
Like multiple studios, dozens of small businesses, thousands of homes. Like it really hit home. To switch gears, not in a silly, goofy way, but like we just had a serious conversation. To switch gears. My favorite performance of the night, I think, was the New Artist Cypher.
Yeah.
I, however, kind of took issue with the fact that Sabrina and Chapel got their own full-length set. Not that I think they don't deserve it. Not that I don't think that they probably had some of the best performances of the night.
This is true.
But I mean, like, if we're gonna put everybody at one time at one bar. Let's put everybody on one time on one bar.
I did find it to be a little strange. I was fully expecting after we saw... Actually, let me just say this.
Yes.
I don't think Billie Eilish needed that long of a slot, actually, now that we're thinking about it. I think we could have reallocated that time to, like, Doechii.
Actually, because this is what I thought about when I was watching Chapel's performance.
In that orange jersey.
When I was watching Chapel's performance, I was sitting there and I was like, are they going to do a full 4-minute song? And they did.
And they did.
And they just straight up. And it was a little odd to me because I can't remember the last time where we saw a song literally from beginning to end be performed in the middle of an award show, like just live like that. It was a little strange to me. And I think even strange that there was an alternative group that was nominated for Best New Artist.
Yes, I forget.
Their set was 45 seconds.
Yeah, it was so short.
Max.
It was so short.
Doechii probably got the longest performance. Again, deserved. But
I feel like
if we're gonna have a freshman cypher, a Best New Class, they should all be. If we're gonna say that all these artists are on one equal plane, because quite frankly they're not.
Right.
But they should be on one equal plane. Like that kind of like threw me a little bit.
Yes, and
especially because Billie was low-key the only person
who wasn't up for Best New Artist that had that big of a performance.
That had a performance, period. The only exception was the opening number.
Yeah, because it was.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was of course Janelle Monáe and the Janelle Monáe's rendition of Michael Jackson.
It wasn't my favorite performance, and I thought it was very interesting to honor Quincy Jones by only using by starting off making the longest performance Michael Jackson.
I'm gonna be honest.
Quincy Jones.
It was a crazy artistic choice.
His career. I mean, like.
I thought he was gonna be
Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is probably the largest person that's ever going to be large, but like to try to give a tribute to Michael Jackson in the middle of giving a tribute to as big as a giant as Quincy Jones was, so strange. We could have picked so many other artists. Quincy Jones was literally putting artists on till like days before he died.
Yeah, Quincy Jones.
Like he was literally signing people to deals days before he died. Like, why?
It was a little bit of an interesting choice to me. I also just think it's kind of Janelle Monáe's thing of, like,
being
were
weird
you
and
asked
funky
to
like
do
that.
this,
Yeah.
or did you ask? Because I have no idea.
I think she asked.
Because I can't see an executive being like, hey,
we're gonna do Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
I think
absolutely not.
And I'm not even saying I disliked the performance.
I'm
not saying I disliked the
unfortunately.
performance. But I would have to say my favorite performance of the night would probably have to go to Chapel. It was just first of all, about 5 different outfit changes throughout the whole night. Just a fantastic artistic directions. I didn't know I needed circus clowns. I mean, rodeo, circus, whatever you want to call that, cowboys. I didn't know I needed that until I saw it, quite frankly. Yeah. But it was just so many colors. It was like I felt like a kid in a candy shop, I have to say. But it's just, I thought that was my favorite. I would have definitely put Doechii higher if they had given her the same slot that they gave Sabrina and Chapel, just because I know she would have devoured. But
I agree with you, and I think not only did she deserve for just handing out 4-minute slots, Grammys, but The Weeknd performed.
That's what it was.
Unmemorable.
And Playboy
on that
Cardi
note,
was there.
And on that note, moving on. When we come back, we'll be talking about snubs and moments that we thought missed the marks at the Grammys. This is CAU TV, and you are watching The Review. Stay with us.
And what hasn't been snubbed?
Jason, let's go see your room.
No, that's not right. How was it? Is it good?
Welcome back to the review. And on the topic of snubs,
Yeah.
let's talk about a snub that was righted.
Absolutely, as you can tell.
How? Can you tell?
Can you tell?
Can you tell?
Can y'all?
Can you tell?
Y'all,
Can
y'all
you
with me?
tell?
Hold on. Let me show y'all the blonde tip at the end. Can y'all tell?
Can y'all tell? Can y'all tell?
Can y'all tell?
Yeah, anyways, if you couldn't tell, if you live under a rock, we were talking about Cowboy Carter and how Beyonce, the most decorated
Grammy
Grammy
artist
of
all
all
time.
had somehow never gotten
An
album of the year. And mind you, I will say there was a bit of a rumble on campus this morning. I heard quite a big amount of
Cowboy Carter slander.
Cowboy Carter slander. First of all, how many of y'all have listened to the album all the way?
Hello.
Cover to cover.
Cover
Talking
to cover,
about it.
because I learned it. Cover to cover.
So, was it Beyonce's? Would I say it's Beyonce's best album? No.
No.
But if
Was it deserving of an
if
album of the year?
Jamie Lee, whatever her name is, from Everything Everywhere All at Once, barely in the movie.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. If Jamie Lee Curtis can get a Oscar because the Academy felt bad because she'd never won an Oscar,
then Beyonce absolutely could get it.
everybody talk about,
Yes.
oh, Jay-Z bought it, Jay-Z bought it. Why do y'all hate
Pause.
black women? 'Cause
Pause.
also he didn't buy it.
If my man decides to get up on stage and tell the music world, my wife is the most decorated artist
Hello.
by your standards,
Hello.
but hasn't made the best album of the year for over 25 years, then maybe your standards aren't what we're up to.
Hello. Also,
Then my man can defend me all he wants.
And
Hello.
My thing is, like, people are acting like she's lost to, like, Beethoven. Like, she lost to Harry Styles, and it wasn't even his best album. It was not Fine Line, and it was not self-titled.
It wasn't.
It was whatever the other one with As It Was on.
With the sushi music.
Yes, Music in a Sushi Restaurant. But was that the name of the album?
I think so.
Music in a Sushi.
It was the name of a track.
Song. No, that's the one that sounds like Ant Farm. The Ant Farm theme song. Listen to it. Listen to it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Moving on. But it is crazy. Besides Beyonce's fantastic run and her not only getting Best Album of the Year, but also
Yes.
getting Country Album of the Year and also getting
Country duo.
Country Duo with Miley Cyrus. Shout out.
Shout out.
It is crazy, though, that both Taylor and Billie
Went home empty-handed.
empty-handed. Like,
I'm
they
not
didn't
gonna
get to
clap
do
it up.
this at all.
They didn't get to. I'm not gonna clap it up for them. I
I have mixed emotions.
have mixed emotions. I think for the argument they gave for both Beyonce and Adele that they get nominated too much, that they win too much, that they don't deserve another award, absolutely can apply to Taylor Swift.
Absolutely can
And
apply.
me personally, and I say this as somebody who was an avid Taylor Swift fan for a good chunk of my developmental years, my younger developmental years.
That's lore. I didn't know that.
I don't think that she's put out any music album of the year worthy in the past 5 years.
Wait.
I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna stop you there.
No,
I'm
I'm
not
standing
even
on
a
that.
Taylor Swift. Well, actually, I don't know the year, so actually we might be agreeing.
I'm standing
The
on that.
only album that I genuinely think Taylor put her foot in since, like, I don't know the albums. I'm honestly not that huge of a Taylor Swift fan. Like, I listen, she has hits. I like the song, I listen to it. Folklore. That was a good album. That was a good album. All right, tough crowd. That was a good album. But everything past that,
22
the
Taylor
Fortnite-
Swift could write Folklore. Folklore could not write 22 Taylor Swift, and that's why I
don't know
feel
what that
like
means.
Taylor now.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that's why I feel like she
I felt
doesn't.
like it was a fun switch up. Anyways, we're not here to talk about Taylor Swift.
No, I just don't think that she's put out any music worthy of
And
an
that's fair.
album of the year. I think she could have, and she did.
Hold on,
I
the
think she could-
Cardigan song? You didn't like
No.
the
I think she could have run a record of the year, song of the year, which she's done.
Okay.
But I definitely don't think she's deserving of an album of the year award in the past couple years. And I think
agree.
she kind of knows it too.
She was
Because
having a grand
she was
old
the
time.
first person up when Beyonce
She was having a
announced.
grand old time.
She was.
Did you see her dancing in Not Like Us?
She
She
loves
was
that
having
song.
A grand, I don't know why, but she was.
Well, Kendrick is the first and only black male artist that she's worked with, so I assume that has something to do with it.
I'm like, does she have? She probably has beef with Drake. I feel like everybody got beef with Drake.
Yeah.
But
well,
I'm just like, I love that for her. I think Taylor is at a point in her career where she's just having a fun time at the Grammys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like now Beyonce can kind of rest easy. And because obviously this is not her last album. We still have part 3.
Yeah.
We still have part 3, and best believe, let's see where that goes. That goes. Might be rock. Anyways, let me get off this. But
I think, while we're on the topic of snubs rated, I think Kendrick swiping, Not Like Us, definitely a one for Los Angeles. Definitely a little cherry on top of the night.
They had to have taken that into account, I imagine.
But in terms of snubs,
5.
Yeah, 5 awards, most of any rap artist in one night. In terms of snubs, though, Glorilla was nominated against him in almost every category. I would have,
Glorilla.
and I don't even think Glorilla was there.
I don't think Glorilla was there. Speaking of somewhat of not a snub per se, but kind of a
curveball.
A curveball to me of Andre 3000. I kind of was expecting a little more attention on that. Since he's such a well-known artist. He's a vet in the biz, and I don't even think Andre 3000 was there.
Yeah, and Kendrick didn't show up till like halfway through the show. Mustard
Beyonce
accepted the first 2 rows.
Beyonce wasn't
there. Jay-Z was, though.
Jay-Z,
now, talk
Beyonce
about having
wasn't.
a time. Jay-Z had a time. Jay-Z had that chopper set, got him on his feet. He said, okay. No, he had a time. I was actually.
Does Tidal still exist?
Tidal? I think so.
Because Chappell's about to be streaming on there.
Probably. I think Glorilla actually kind of deserved, almost in the same vein as Shabuzi. I would have loved to see Glorilla take home.
I would have loved to see Glorilla take
an
home
award
Grammy.
I guess this is her 2nd year, but would have loved it. Speaking of snubs, Megan Thee Stallion was notably missing.
And we got great
from
hits
the Grammys and nominations.
What do you mean? BoA, Hiss.
Yes.
Honestly, wanna be Glorilla and Meg. I'm
as
shocked.
best rap duo. Yes,
I'm shocked that was not nominated.
And there could have been. There's a couple things that could have happened.
She might not have submitted.
So if you don't know, which we planned on doing something on this and it didn't happen, but artists, when they get nominated, they have to submit themselves for a nomination for each category, and either the artist or the label has to pay the Academy to be able to submit their songs. That's just to submit, not even to be nominated officially. Right. That's just to get to the voting stage. So it could be possible that in her first year as a complete independent artist, that she did not want to take on that cost. In a very stacked category, might I add. I think they had some really good rap hits. I didn't know Common dropped an album, however. But, Common also a vet in the game.
Also a vet.
Eminem as well. I knew he dropped an album, but
I knew he wasn't going to win because he's notably like the most anti-Grammy person to ever grace the earth.
Ariana's climbing up there with it.
Yeah, because let's talk about snubs. Let's talk about Eternal Sunshine.
I don't think that's a snub.
All right, well, I did.
And I loved Eternal Sunshine, but I just didn't think...
But The Boy Is Mine remix was nominated.
It was nominated.
I would have loved to seen...
Brandy and Monica win another Grammy.
I would have loved to seen Monica and Brandy
I would have loved it.
A Grammy. That would have been really cute to me.
Yes, absolutely.
Quite literally, this was the year of working it out on the remix.
Absolutely. Will we see Kendrick and Drake ever work it out on a remix?
I don't know. I don't really care. I just, yeah.
Yeah. What we will see, however, is GNX and hopefully Megan too nominated in the 2025-2026 cycle.
And possibly Chromacopia as well.
Gotta keep an
eye out for that.
But for now, we're just going to have to see who drops the Song of the Year for 2025. And when they do...
And has it already dropped?
But when and if they do... We'll be right here to cover it.
Right here.
This was The Review. I am Ella Starr.
And I'm Sarah Hall.
And we will see you next time.